Welcome back, everyone, to Incognito Banter. This week, we're going to be talking about Sherlock, like we discussed last time. Episode 1.
No shit, Sherlock.
Then we're going to talk about some AI news, because I think AI, every week, there's just something new happening, and I think this week's an interesting one, for sure.
We should count how many times we say AI this episode.
Yeah, actually, so Google announced their event for developer conference, like they call it Google I/O, and basically what I want to do is we should sit down and probably go through it, and every time Sundar Pichai says AI, we take a shot.
Oh my god, dude! I don't drink that much.
That's how you die.
Yeah,
We'll be on the floor in the first 3 minutes. I'm guessing.
That's accurate. Yeah. Then we're gonna talk about Jake Paul versus the Mike Tyson fight if we have time. And we'll also try to talk about Akira Toriyama's death, which for all the people who have listened to all our podcasts, I think we had the first half of first 2 of the 5 episodes we're talking about anime and how important Dragon Ball Z was for us.
Yeah, I mean, even some of the guests, right?
Yeah.
They're on it. They're in on it. I mean, not in on it, but like they knew. And I mean,
They were in on his death.
Send the word.
Send the word.
Light the beacons.
Nice.
And we'll end it off with a Reddit story. So pretty jam-packed episode if we want to get through all of that. So let's get started. And I mean, if we don't get through it, we obviously have, next week or the week after.
Yeah,
or the week after.
Yeah, and for all you listeners out there, just let us know of the segments that we mentioned, if we don't get to any of them, what you wish you would have heard. So with that said, should we just dive right into Sherlock?
Yeah,
I think that's while it's still fresh.
Yeah. I just since I'm this skeptic in this whole genre of TV, I just want to say
I don't think that's an entire medium, by the way. I hope you realize.
Like murder mystery.
Fine.
I do think there's a good way of doing it. I guess Sherlock is the closest to being that. I still think it's kind of like a fucking MacGuffin, the way he deduces things. Like, oh, you have blackened nails. That means your dad probably beat you as a child. And it's just like some useless ass bullshit that he pulls.
But a lot of those things makes sense.
Yeah, of course it makes sense if you
think about it, it makes sense.
Okay, no, to some extent it makes sense. But my God, he's like, listen, based on the way that this lady bit her fingernails, she is a murderer. What?
But I think he doesn't jump to murder. So he jumps to he supports the nail chewing. Like she's nervous or she's frantic.
No, he does not. No. He does not go to reasonable things like she's nervous. He goes to she was a war veteran.
Yeah. We could jump to that conclusion.
Yeah. Bitch is wearing a purple heart and has her leg missing. She's a war veteran.
Astute observation.
Yeah. But this dude's the way she wears her bob.
She's a spy.
Perfect to the diameter of
right.
5 degrees. Yeah.
No, it's bullshit. I don't agree with all of that. He did a psychoanalysis on Watson the first time he saw it, but that's spoilers. Let's wait to talk about that a little bit. Couple of quick questions, man. Do you think Molly is ever going to get some?
As a person who has seen the show, I can spoil it for you.
I really just am hoping for my girl Molly, dude. She tried so hard. She's like, hey, can we get some coffee? Do you want to get some coffee after this? And he just like, yeah, black, 2 sugars. Bring it upstairs. I was like, oh, God.
Why'd you put on the lipstick?
Yeah. She put on lipstick to talk to him. She's like, why'd you put on lipstick?
I've seen some ad hoc episodes of this show, and Sherlock is so clueless. It's amazing. But at the same time, fingernails, war veteran.
Yeah. He is he's just so focused on he's obnoxious to and it's just hard to deal with him. There's no other way to you need someone to give him that emotional guidance of hey, you you cannot behave this way to this,
Yeah.
talk to people like that. And you're rude, especially like we'll get to it, but one of the Christmas episodes, he just like goes off because he was sad at Molly and it's just sad.
I will one thing I do know, like just the actor, Benedict Cumberbatch, the range. My man is obviously Sherlock Holmes and plays the part beautifully, as per the first episode even. Is also in Star Trek Into Darkness, plays a amazing villain, and it's also a motherfucking dragon.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, he's Smog, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I mean, did you mention Doctor Strange?
And Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I didn't even touch the MCU.
Yeah.
He's a magician, yo.
He's a motherfucking wizard.
What are your thoughts like overall on like smart ass characters? Like I know there's always like characters that are like geniuses, smart ass. Like you got the Sheldons, the Sherlocks, and all of that. Like you find them charming. You find them like.
I find them annoying, but I like the fact that the best times for me, they're interesting and cool, but at the same time, when they get things wrong completely, or like when humility hits them, like the best part about Sheldon is when he finds or interacts with someone who's way smarter. So like, spoilers, I guess, but I watched this show called Young Sheldon, which is about him growing up, and there's this constant character called Paige.
Yo,
who like
the best episodes.
Yeah, those are the best episodes because Paige is so much smarter than Sheldon without even trying, and she also has that emotional side of it that Sheldon clearly lacks. So like that's the kind of same logic applies for Sherlock as well, because while Sherlock is a smartass, we will see that there are other characters who are equally smart but way more clueless than him.
So to kind of answer that too, I think of this as like an OP character, right? Someone who's just too smart for the show. And, Sherlock clearly is very smart, but obviously he's going to face some challenges. You're going to love this. You're going to hate this. But like, I think of Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Fuck. I am never watching this show again.
Fuck
because I'm like, I sit there and they don't tell you anything about him, but then they throw in a little bit of that stuff. But he's still a good character, and that's why I like that aspect of it with Sherlock, because it seems like they're trying to do something like that, but at the same time, it could be a little different.
So it is a detective show like Sherlock. Going back to that. Did you guys have any, like, when you're watching it for the first time, do you guys have any, like, crazy, like, thoughts and things you're noticing? Because sometimes I feel like I go into, like, a spiral where I'm like, there are 3 grains of sand in this window.
So, I didn't remember most of, like, because who watches the first episodes, right? Like, once you've seen the show, you know your favorites, and you just jump to those episodes. But, like, going back to it and watching this, I was like, this was a solid start to a season. Like, I don't think it was a bad start. Like, it got me hooked, right? Again.
It immediately.
Yeah.
And you get immediately immersed, which I liked.
Yeah. So, like, my favorite was, I think, watching this time around. I think I'm a lot older because when I originally started watching Sherlock, it was when I was in college. So, almost a decade ago.
Oh, dang.
So I think now I'm a little older, a little wiser, a little smarter, I guess. And I was like, this is so interesting how they basically told us how Dr. Watson was in the military and he had PTSD. And they, even bring up, like, he's talking to his therapist and he's reading what therapist is writing upside down because
He has trust issues.
his trust issues. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that shit was clever. Like I thought it was like I never understood that because we talk about it throughout the series about his trust issues and stuff, and it only gets worse. So, like
I was like going like full crazy because I was like, there are 3 pills in the bottle. And I'm like, the first 2 murders happened 31 days apart. What do these numbers mean?
It has something to do with her wearing pink.
Yeah.
Pink pills.
Yeah. So I'm like,
31.
if they're going into like this many details about the fucking color pink, which is also bullshit. Who the fuck? What kind of adulterer that's living a double goddamn life has so much time in their hands that they're like, everything of mine should match?
People like that, I think.
I feel like I'd be in the details, man.
But I don't think people are consistent enough. Like, what if it's like, oh man, I ripped my purple pink bag, so I have to like take the purple
Then they
one.
buy a new
Gotta
pink
go to
bag.
Amazon and buy another one.
Yeah, before I leave. I don't give a shit. But like, shit like that, man.
So my favorite part was when when they're like, "Oh, Anderson, Donovan, your perfume, or you're wearing a different perfume," and she's like, "Yeah, so," and then like 5 minutes later, you're like, I think something with her knees. Being on the
He was
carpet
saying
floor,
he's
he's basically implying that she was giving Anderson a blowjob, and they both have the same perfume on because they slept together.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, you must have been cleaning his floors pretty late that night.
Oh yeah, that's what it
Oh,
was.
that's
Yeah.
good. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Smooth.
Yeah,
It was funny.
It was funny. Yeah. No, I just had to like the detective. Why is he such a fucking pushover, dude? Like, I get that he needs Sherlock, but like he's kind of a fucking pushover. Where he's like, you
Yeah.
get 2 minutes, and then he goes up there with Sherlock, and Sherlock's like, yeah, I'm gonna need more time, and I'm moving this body and shit. Not moving this body, but like, I'm just investigating.
But I mean, the thing is that Lestrade needs Sherlock, and Sherlock can actually give him the answers because no one else is fucking doing their job.
It's law enforcement and then private detective, right?
Yeah.
So you're you're a PI, but you're basically like, he is the police. He's the law, right?
Yeah.
Or not the law, but like he can do a better job investigating a scene than they can.
He's a consulting detective. Like
Yeah.
He calls himself.
What do you guys think about that weird interaction Watson had with that like mysterious fucking figure that sent him a car?
Oh,
Like,
so I knew who he is. So for me, it was funny because I didn't realize again, like watching it again, that that's how they introduced him. That's actually Mark Gatiss. Mark Gatiss, yeah, something like that. He is the co-writer of the show.
oh, that's actually cool as hell. I didn't get threatening vibes from the dude. I did not think like he's a villain whatsoever.
I think they're trying to do a red herring by saying that, like, in the end, you find out like there's a benefactor for that guy. I think you're supposed to assume it's him until the very end,
until
where you find out who he actually is.
Yeah. No, so that was interesting. Yeah, I didn't like until they revealed it. Like, when the serial killer was like talking about, oh, I have a benefactor, or I have someone that wants you dead, or pretty much whatever threat he was coming up with.
No, he just has a fan. He doesn't want him dead.
Yeah. I didn't think it was those two people. One thing I do have to admit is like I love that dude's assistant though.
Yeah, she's always on her phone.
Never once did she look up that entire car ride with Watson, the entire conversation with Watson, dropping him off. She's like, yeah.
Yeah. He even asked her
Primo,
out like
dude.
twice, and she like shut him down so hard, and I'm just like, it was just sad. I felt sad for him.
No, I feel like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of the women in the show just get shit on.
She didn't get shit on though. She was shitting on him.
She was, but like I was talking about what do you call it? Is Miss Hudson their housekeeper?
Miss Hudson's not their housekeeper, but man, Miss Hudson's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
You get introduced to her.
Yeah, and it's like she just wanted her husband in jail.
Yeah. And Sherlock helped her out with it.
I think one thing I do need Sherlock abilities for is like GPS.
He knows all of London mapped in his head.
Like the fucking I had like a fucking attack when I just got like flashes of fucking Steins and street names, and he's just like, oh, the best way to catch up to this taxi is go through these alleys, parkour through this building, and like finger that butthole or some bullshit. I don't know. I can't say that.
I don't think that happened.
I don't think that happened.
I don't think I can say that part.
You can say it.
You could.
Well, there you have it, guys.
TUL.
You heard it here first. For the role of Sherlock, Benedict Cumberbatch had fingered someone's butthole.
That part you can't say because you're defaming someone.
Let them sue us.
I feel like I eventually want Benedict Cumberbatch on the show.
Right.
So let's not say that Benedict Cumberbatch had to do that.
However he gets on the show,
Yeah.
be like, hey, you want to set the record straight?
Yeah. Let
you
the people
fingering
know.
buttholes, you. Yes.
The people want to know. Preferably if we could do it before the finale of the show, that would be great.
Benedict, are you fingering buttholes? Hey, you know what? We could share that. That could be a good tweet to Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, we should do it from your account.
Or just the Incognito Banter account works
Yeah,
as well.
we
But
should.
We can do that.
Follow us.
Yeah, see if he responds at Incognito Banter. Benedict, don't disappoint.
he will, because he doesn't know us. But that's totally fine.
I thought one of the coolest things of the show is like was Watson. Actually, I don't like Sherlock one bit. Was not phased about the drug problem. Was not. I just did not like his deducting skills.
You were feeling Bilbo?
Yeah, I was feeling Bilbo. It sounds like okay. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like a stripper. But yeah, I was feeling Watson. Again, not good either. I really like Watson's character.
Are you sure with this one?
I'm sure with this one. And I like that the cool thing they did with his character were like his inconsistent limp, and I noticed that before the running scene as well. Where like even in the cafe he would just like leave his cane, and like even when he had the cane, like sometimes he would just be walking. No, like without a limp, and
That
like
was a psychosis, right?
yeah, they said a psychosis. And again, Sherlock determined this by his phone and his army status. So that's why I don't like Sherlock again.
Did he figure that out in his lab? Or
Yeah,
whatever?
in his lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, after meeting the dude for like half a second.
Yeah, literally.
With like, he said one syllable to him.
But so here's what I'll tell you. Okay. If you don't like Sherlock and those kind of deductions, that's basically the show.
I figured it's like all
so
of it.
if you're gonna be hating that, then we should probably drop that right now. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not even joking. Like,
it just Sherlock has answers. How Sherlock has answers? Everyday items. He's literally like who's that guy that like made things out of nothing? Like he was like a famous like PI or whatever the fuck it was. Like it was a TV show, not like an actual person.
Oh, I'm confused. Are you not,
I have no idea.
you're not talking about
Sherlock
Inspector
Holmes?
Gadget, are you?
No. They made a parody of it. It's like MacGruber.
Oh, MacGyver?
MacGyver, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
but
like
he made shit.
he's like mind MacGyver.
No, he's like, I've got a paper clip and a rubber band. We're going to be flying out of here.
yeah, shit like that. It's like, oh, I noticed people were smoking at a nicotine patch. Someone's lying. They actually have cancer.
Oh, my God.
Like this.
So here's what I'll tell you. Like the whole show is basically like him solving these things, and a lot of this like is solving through his deductions and how he finds it.
Yeah.
So like that's the core of the show.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. There's a phrase. It's called "No shit, Sherlock."
Yeah. Because you don't detect it. You can't.
You
deduce it.
see you see how those things are like that phrase is used for obvious things, not like, oh, your cabinets are brown.
Wait, no, that's like a sarcastic.
Yeah,
thing.
it's sarcastic.
Like I'm not actually calling you as smart as Sherlock. I'm just saying that you
No,
are.
no, yeah, but like it's used to point out obvious fucking things, not complicated as, oh, you have an air fryer. That must mean your grandma on your dad's side is obese.
What?
What? The sarcastic part is that you're not actually Sherlock, or you didn't deduce
That's why
like
you can't
Sherlock.
deduce it.
So you're like, I was like, no shit, Sherlock. Thanks for making a mountain out of an anthill.
Molehill. It's molehill.
Listen, now think of how big an anthill mountain is compared to an anthill. All right.
Great time to use no shit, Sherlock.
I was thinking it too.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good show. I would watch it. I think it's taxing that it's like a movie each episode, but I'm totally down to watch more. And I cannot promise that I will not shit on his deduction skills. Because if he's worse than this in the future episodes, I'm gonna be mad about it.
Also, I think we should talk about like how they end the show, who the benefactor is. We get a name for the benefactor.
Is it
Mycroft.
Yourcroft?
No, it's not Mycroft. Mycroft is the brother. It's Moriarty.
Oh fuck! I forgot about that.
Yeah. And
call.
we don't know who Moriarty is right now. But
Yeah, no,
people
fair.
who know about Sherlock Holmes,
I mean,
they know it's like
I've seen the Robert Downey Jr. versions.
Yeah, it's not like his arch nemesis or whatever the fuck it
Yeah,
is.
I unfortunately know
Sure,
it from.
yeah. I'm not gonna spoil it, so like
Yeah.
just watch it. I mean, they're gonna talk a little bit more and more and more every season about him, or this season about him. There's a lot of stuff that happens. So
hopefully the better character that plays him than I forget who played him in the Sherlock movies, but it was not good.
They say that this is the best version of Moriarty done till date.
Oh my god.
I don't think.
How was the show
I really
even?
don't think you guys will like it.
Oh my god.
Really?
How many versions of Moriarty were there? 2?
No, there's like at least 6 versions.
I'm kidding.
Have you guys seen kind of like Sherlock, but not quite? Have you ever heard this movie called The Great Mouse Detective?
No, I've heard of it. I've heard the books. I've actually read them, perused them, but I have not. I don't remember.
Watch this movie. I want to see if it holds up. And it's like literally like a fucking kid's movie with like this mouse who's like Sherlock Holmes, but it's actually really good at. If you guys ever have my brother's phone number, text him to validate that. He'll be like, yo, that's dope as fuck.
All right, we'll check it out.
Yeah, I've seen the movie a long time ago.
Yeah, so 1 episode. I mean, that's all we have for Sherlock. I do love the deduction skills, like some of the let's talk about the character. Let's do a quick character roundup, right? We meet Sherlock. We meet
Kind of a prick.
Dr. Watson.
Yeah.
He's cool. Molly, not getting laid anytime soon.
That's a fact.
No pipe.
The detective, that's a
Lestrade.
pushover.
Lestrade.
Lestrade.
Again, I'm not really getting how he made it up the ladder, but there he is.
A lot of wankers. Wanker.
We met Anderson, who's annoying
Yeah,
and super jealous of Sherlock.
yeah.
We met Donovan, not really a major character, but
Yeah.
then we met, who else did we meet? Mycroft.
The main
Talk about
villain for the episode. Forgot his name.
it? Yeah, I mean, he died, so it doesn't matter. He was a cab driver.
Wow, you missed the entire point of the episode
He was a nobody. That was the whole
by
point.
just saying he's a cab driver. No one noticed him, and
That's
he
why he
killed
was
and he
gone away.
killed
That's
people. And look at you, not noticing him again. What's your Uber score? Pull it out right now. I want to know your Uber score. How you treat these cab drivers?
I actually don't know my Uber score. How do you
Yeah.
even check that?
In your profile.
Let's
All
do
right,
this.
let's see.
Yeah, let's everyone pull out your
Whoever
phone.
has the lowest has to buy dinner.
Wow. Okay.
I know my Uber score.
Me
All
too.
right.
All right, you go first.
I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's unfair because my
You're-
Uber score is actually kind of low.
4.86.
Oh, okay.
4.67.
Oh, wow. 4.88.
What are you doing? Like just like shitting in their car?
Well, I don't vote. I don't like give them a rating, so they don't give me a rating.
I don't give ratings either, unless it's like exceptionally
a
well.
lot of times I might give them a rating like weeks later. I don't really Uber that much.
Yeah.
I also might have thrown up a couple of times. In Ubers
Well,
in the
that'll do it.
past, you know.
That'll do it.
But I tip them for the whole cleaning and everything.
They probably already put the rating down for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Let's
Okay.
let's
so,
talk about some generative AI.
generative AI, man. It's not just generative AI. I think I want to talk about like all AI news in general. One of the biggest things that I realized last night was we've been talking about Google and OpenAI, like, basically wiping the floor with it. There's a bunch of these other companies as well, like Twitter has Grok, or Elon has Grok.
Yep.
There's some like the Copilot, if you want to keep it as a separate identity, but I think that a major portion of it is still using OpenAI. So if you want to keep it separate, we could talk about that.
Or as Elon calls it, closed AI.
Yeah. But there's still like a lot of other companies, smaller companies, that I think they will get bought out, which is totally fine. I think that's their purpose too.
That's always happens with anything new.
Yeah, most likely that these companies will get bought out. I mean, OpenAI, you can say that it's not owned by Microsoft, but Microsoft is a major stakeholder in OpenAI. So I don't think I would call it Microsoft Lite or something like that.
Yeah, dude, and I'd say OpenAI has a very complicated structure there's a lot of controversy around it too. And Elon's like pissed because he's like, they started as a not for profit.
Yeah.
Then they opened up a for profit business, moved everything over there. So all the people who invested and donated to the not for profit are like, we're not getting anything back for this thing, and you kind of did a bait and switch.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit, right? So
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of that, but we haven't talked about Apple at all. What's Apple been up to? So
I know they did a lot. Like they shut down a lot of things. Like they stopped. They completely gave up funding for their car. And
the car project got shut down. Yes.
And like something else got shut down. I totally forgot.
I think it was just a car, right? Because originally they were like, we're not going to build a car. Now they're like, I think now they're also saying that we're really not going to build a car.
Yeah. No. They just shut down the whole project. They're like, we're done for sure.
Oh
right.
yeah, they're
like
also like
not.
They're not growing as much as like everyone else, tech wise. Like,
No, they are. They're significantly. So there was, I think last year sometime, like a couple of months ago, there was when the iPhones and everything was the Vision. No, actually in January when Vision Pro was announced, they're like, Apple manufacturing and Apple products are at the peak, but Apple seems to be lacking in terms of AI, and the two leads just laughed it off that just you wait. So there are two big news that I found out about Apple, and one of them just dropped right about at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or something like that, and I was right when I was passing out. So first thing is Apple has a bunch of language models that they released. It's called MM1, which are pretty decent, and it's going to be good. So everyone has been rumoring that the next iOS update, so the one that's going to be announced in June with their WWDC conference, that stands for Worldwide Developer Conference, is going to be a big iOS update, probably one of the biggest ones since, the major redesign.
Kind of has to be, yeah.
Yeah. They're going to, obviously will have to update Siri, right? Or maybe get rid of Siri and call it something else. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but Siri, in quote unquote, Siri is going to get like a major update.
Yeah.
So a lot of the local shit is going to be powered through that MM1 model, but they're in talks with OpenAI and more specifically, mostly Google, to use Gemini to power through Siri as well. Because Gemini is not just for Google products, it's actually a cloud offering. So Samsung, instead of using Samsung AI, started using Gemini models.
Yeah. Okay.
So for the new Samsung Galaxy phones. So now if Apple strikes a deal, and I think I'm hearing this on Twitter, so I don't know if it's the most accurate number, but I think it's 30 billion a year or something like that. It's a major chunk of money.
Goddamn.
Who benefits this? This would Google?
Google would get paid for that.
Man, that's a huge deal.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about this. That like what happens here. So like that's what Apple and Google's been going on. Since last time, Google's Gemini image generator got, I don't know if we talked about it, but they had to shut it down because it was creating like basically non-white people. Like every image you
I heard about this. Yeah.
is just non-white. Like you ask for a sketch of Elon Musk, and it's like some black dude who looks like Elon Musk, but just some black dude. And I'm like,
yeah,
like it was overcorrecting for race and diversity.
It may have been doing. That's the whole thing, right? You don't know what it's doing. That's kind of the whole concept behind it. But it's like it may have been doing where it's like averaging everybody in the world and being like, what is it likely that he looks like? Because it's not like they can search the web and find it, but it's like. Yeah. Somewhere along the lines or whatever, they probably something got screwed.
I think there was a lot of like diversity bias in it that Google kind of pushes on, right? Like, I mean, I don't want to go on sidetrack about diversity and stuff, but like, how Disney goes, every character is either, it's a diverse group, right?
Yeah.
I think there was a big controversy around why is, what's her face?
Ariel.
Ariel, yeah.
The Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid and stuff like that. But I think so. Like a lot of these companies have that diversity bias going, and that one
made sense.
That one made sense. No, 100%. That one made sense.
Ain't no light in the bottom of the goddamn sea.
Yeah, that's true. But that diversity bias also kind of when it sneaks into AI and everyone is using it,
Yeah.
that kind of becomes a problem. So Google had to shut that down, which is fine. We found out that OpenAI. We talked about OpenAI Sora,
Yeah.
and Sora is going to be launched. Like we got some more updates. It's towards the end of the year in a beta phase. Sora will be released for public.
Yeah, and they got called out actually. So their CTO was either doing an interview or something like
with
that.
Jonah Stern. Yeah.
Yeah, and so she got kind of got stuck in like kind of between a rock and a hard place, and trying not to out Google and other source of the training data. And it was actually kind of interesting hearing it, because in the moment, if I was in that moment, like, not that I'm anything close to knowing anything enough about this, she was like, "Oh, it's what did you train?" They were like, "What did you train your OpenAI on, or your platform on?" And she was just like, "Oh, like did you train on YouTube?" And she's like, I don't know." It's like,
I don't know the specifics, but it's on public
It's
data.
public.
It's public, yeah. So basically, you scrub videos, like
just
let's
say
be
it.
real. No, but that's illegal, and YouTube can go for copyright.
So here's an interesting thing. So I was listening to a podcast today, and they talked about this. And so how at the end of most, if not all, YouTube videos, they say, "Thank you for watching," right? And so somebody somewhere along, like in the, I don't know who did it, but like someone was doing this and testing it. It was like, "Hey, why don't you do this?" I forget what it was. It was like, turn on whatever it is, OpenAI or whatever platform, and then don't do anything, and then stop it from start sharing your mic, right? Like, let it so that it can pick up what you're saying and stuff, and then turn it off, and then it'll respond with "Thank you for watching." And so they're saying that, like, that's kind of like a telltale that it is using YouTube data to train.
Oh, that's interesting.
I would not trust any sort of AI or anything with my mic on like that. That's just me. I have watched Terminator way too many fucking times.
Well, it's more like, normally when you turn the mic on, it's to talk, right? So it's just using like text recognition so that you don't have to type it in. That's
I'm that, and I'm also afraid of, like, I know in like like a year or so, this data is gonna be accessible to some fucking scammers, and they're gonna start calling my friends and asking for money, and I know I'm gonna get blamed, and I'm gonna be like the next Nigerian prince, and I'm not even gonna see a single dime. So I'm just weary of putting my voice and photos up on these AI models.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is that it can ideally be trained on anything, but you're right. Like, it's a lot of barriers right now.
Yeah.
Because what's the big one? The New York Times, right? They're the big ones that sued OpenAI, or there's a lawsuit or pending lawsuit.
Dude, there's so many companies suing so many like AI platforms. It's not
wild.
even. Yeah.
It's wild, right? But they went on to say that, like, the reason the CTO probably didn't say she knew or didn't know or didn't give her sources is for potential lawsuit, that if she she might be giving something away, or she may not be able to talk about it, and she's not a trained lawyer, right? I mean, they should have coached her, but
No, I feel
you default to saying I don't know or I can't talk about it. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can't talk about it.
But yeah, overall, I mean, that's a lot of AI stuff that I have. I mean, we can talk more and more details about, like, I've been using the AI Studio with Gemini 1.5 for work. Well, not officially work. When I want to when I want to write a big document and I'm like, I don't know how to start, or I don't want to start, then I'll ask it. It's not perfect. It will not give me, like, I'll even spell it out that, hey, this is the template. Write it in this. Here's the prompt. Like, I'll write a prompt for it, and it'll do its best, but it doesn't know context, right? Like, I think it'll never know context. Like, it's a good resource, but unless I integrate it to my code base or into my, like, work stream, and it can monitor, like, my meetings and things like that, it will never understand the context of the situation of what we actually.
That's the hardest part of all.
So you're saying it's not gonna understand context?
I'm gonna say that one more time. I don't think it will understand context.
Okay, so why don't we do a prediction round? So the big three, and I'm still gonna just throw Apple in there because they're gonna do something.
Okay.
Right? OpenAI.
Naruto.
Stop it. Right now.
Dragon Ball Z.
like Apple, just whatever they're gonna call it, like Apple AI. It'll be better than that. Trust me.
That would be like
OpenAI,
AI.
like or
Apple.
Apple, whatever. AI Apple, and Gemini. Like, who do you think is gonna be the one? Because there's gonna be one that has to kind of reign supreme overall, maybe.
No, I don't think so.
Because it's big, or meaning the go-to, right? There are a lot of search engines out there, Bing, Google, etc. But Google's kind of won that for now. I know that search is becoming a big issue, especially with AI now. And in long run, so far, Google's won. But like, who do you think is going to be the one to kind of be the winner right now?
It won't be Google.
No.
And the reason why, and I want it to be Google because I think it's very well integrated and thought out for the most part.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of hate for it in Google in
Really?
general right now.
Oh.
And I think people are asking Sundar to step down, and just because
AI related hate or just
AI
other?
related hate,
Really?
just that they think that they're not like. I think that even the culture at Google with all the layoffs and stuff, I just don't think that it's a good time for Google, right? Like as a company, they need to buckle down for the next few years and come up with something proper product.
Oh, yeah.
just
Lots
because of
of
public image, right?
Yeah,
Like
so people may not use Google's solution, whatever it is, no matter how good it is.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah. No, I know a lot of people are mad about the YouTube Music team, about like that whole restructuring and like the whole team being fired. So there's lots of petitions to get Sundar to resign, and
Really? I didn't know that. One of my friends actually works for the YouTube Music team.
I didn't know that YouTube Music team got fired at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
No one's
Yeah.
been talking about it. Yeah.
that was a big thing. But yeah, so like a lot of YouTube Music's contractors, like as soon as they unionized, got laid off.
That sucks. Yeah.
And they had to like train their own replacements, pretty much. But
No,
yeah,
So it's actually funny. I don't know if they did this or not. But normally, what you do, if you're a union and you get either laid off or you're in contract negotiations and not going well, what you do is you because really what you end up doing, what a company ends up doing, is they go out to consultants or contractors or something like that. And so what they do is they bring a huge inflatable rat and they put it in front of the building.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
or a big fat cat or something like that to kind of symbolize like the fat cats or the rat contractors, like those kinds of things. And so I'm wondering if like outside of Google's office they did something like this, or if
Yeah.
Google Music somewhere separate or YouTube Music is somewhere else.
no, I think they had protests and stuff like that outside of the office. But yeah, like this was like a big thing that workers were kind of pissed about, and everyone's kind of pissed
That's
about.
shitty because I
Yeah.
mean I use YouTube Music almost every day.
But I think we're the minority because I
Is that
think
right?
most people prefer Spotify.
Spotify is huge,
Right?
Yeah.
And then Apple Music is huge too. I think those two are the top two. YouTube Music might be third or fourth. I would even put in Tidal or
SoundCloud.
Amazon Music does numbers.
Amazon Music.
They also do
For
numbers.
real?
Yeah.
It's
I
by
mean,
Alexa
but
integration. probably.
I think it's Alexa integration, but I think it's YouTube Music next.
Yeah. So I mean, it doesn't have a big enough market share. It makes sense that if Google
Okay.
is
I guess
struggling
since-
in general, then they're gonna do cost cuttings.
Yeah, it was a no. I guess it's a usage bias on my part where I was like, I'm using it.
I'm using it all
I'm
the
sure
time.
billions of others are.
No, I feel like enough people are, but I think from my estimate, correct me if I'm wrong, in terms of music streaming, it goes YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music, and Amazon, and then Tidal.
So are YouTube and YouTube Music still fully separate entities? 'Cause I mean, I can look up YouTube Music. Not to get into details. I'm just curious now.
They're not separate entities, but they're separate apps.
Yeah.
So yes, the YouTube team also works on YouTube Music, but like the app team would work separately. But like just the overall partnership, like YouTube would still have all the YouTube Music capabilities for the most part.
Oh, okay.
Because it is still going to use that for video, right? Like the cool thing about YouTube Music is you can see the videos
Yep.
on the YouTube videos and also listen to the audio version of it if you want to not see the video. So you could do both, like with just a tap.
Oh, fair.
And yeah, well, okay, I think we should wrap this up. Do you guys wanna? I think we should do one more topic, and then we should jump to the Reddit story. Do you guys want to talk about the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson stuff, or the Akira Toriyama?
I think we can talk about both. I think they're pretty quick, honestly. Not a lot of build up.
Yeah, Let's. You want to start with? I can do the Jake Paul thing.
Yeah.
Just real quick. I mean, I don't have too much here, but so in case you guys have been living under a rock, Jake Paul is going to be fighting Mike Tyson, or Mike Tyson is going to be fighting Jake Paul, depending on whose camp you're in July 20th in Texas. In case you want to watch, is it common for these matches to just be fully streaming on something like Netflix?
Not
Netflix?
not
No.
Netflix.
It's streaming on Netflix. I don't know if it's exclusive.
Is it live or is it recorded?
It says live streaming on Netflix.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
don't think
that's
I've ever seen anything.
yeah.
live
I don't
on
think I've seen
Netflix.
like sports being streamed on Netflix like that. I know Hulu does that.
Yeah.
So that's at least what it showed up as, and I'm like, So, but check this, the numbers. So I'm gonna start there. The purse for the fight, they kind of leaked what Mike Tyson's was. It was like kind of an indirect way of doing it. They're saying that it looks like he might be getting 20 million for this fight. Now, I don't know what kind of money Jake Paul commands
Not
in a fight like
that
this.
much. I
I
can
hope
tell you
it's
that.
not that much. I mean, I'm camp Mike Tyson. So
Yeah, so my guess is gonna be about 5 million still. So he got 3.2 when he fought Tommy Fury, and but he made a shit ton off of the pay-per-view stuff. So he had some agreement where he got his cut of pay-per-view sales was 30 million. He made 30 million off of the pay-per-view shit.
Jesus.
And I'm unsure what Netflix, if anything, what they're offering him on top of that, him and Mike Tyson. But some specs for this fight, and just show you how one-sided this fight looks on paper. Can you guess whose side it's on? But
I mean, Mike Tyson.
gotta be,
Yeah.
right? Gotta be. So check this. Mike Tyson's almost 58 years old.
But it's fucking Iron Mike Tyson.
Iron Mike. Actually didn't know. I was wondering if either of you had known that nickname or not. Okay. Yeah. And Jake Paul's 27, right? So Jake Paul is actually at the peak of his of really his athletic life.
Like he's literally half of Mike Tyson's age.
But right.
Literally.
And so on paper, so there was this whole thing. There was on YouTube or whoever it was, he was just, they've been going back and forth about like just training videos. And so one he called is like 10% punch. And so he goes in like with one of his buddies. It's like, it's so bad because you watch him.
Are you
like,
talking about Jake Paul?
Yeah,
Oh,
Jake
okay,
Paul,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
And he's like wearing this like, whatever, like a very heavily padded item. And so he goes like 5%, 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50. And he goes to 50. This guy's like, the guy he punches, I think it was another YouTuber, I forgot his name, but is like, oh god, like that hurts. But it looked like he was acting. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I don't want to get punched to find out, but I'm like, this guy's gotta be like just gassing his boy up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is a man, like, you know, with Mike Tyson, this is a man we're talking about where, like, he was so wild that, like, he considered jumping into a cage with a gorilla.
Yeah, he's unhinged, man.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
And people were so, like, maybe he could hold his own. Like, you know, like,
You know?
I think he'll be fine.
But the thing that made this video go kind of viral, for lack of better words, is that the guy, he punched him with no padding or anything, with his 10%. Like Jake Paul punched this dude with 10% of his strength, and this guy was like on his floor or whatever. You see this video and you're like, I'm like, I don't want to take that punch, but I could probably take that hit. You know what I mean?
It's also like 10%. Like, how do you like? I maybe it's like when you get to that strength level, you could like have that.
Well, he's like, it's about 10%.
disparity.
Yeah.
About it's so hard to be like 10%.
So he addresses
20%.
it. He addresses that though, where he's like, so when he was punching him with the padding on, the guy was like, all right, what? Or Jake was like, all right, what should I do next? He's like, 5%.
How do you do 5%?
Yeah, he's like, all right, 10%. He does something. 15%. All right, does something. And then he's like 16. He's like, listen, man, you're gonna need to give me some bigger jumps because I can't like measure out these. Like, it's so, like, it's just funny that you mentioned
Yeah,
that. But
because like 5% is just like
he's like, all
barely
right,
pushing
for,
it,
for
right?
us,
Like-
that's like a tap, you know? Like,
yeah,
He's
but I'm
like, yo,
I'm like,
16 and a half was kind of rough. He's like, I need 17.26.
so, but yeah.
that's kind of insane.
So that's kind of like what the big thing that's been coming out for him. So Mike Tyson. So I've been seeing a lot of videos about him, like kind of just training and trying to just build hype around the fight, man. And I'll tell you, right, for a 58-year-old dude, like the guy's a beast,
Yeah,
and he's still in very good shape. And like
he's so fast.
and-
I've seen one of those
yeah.
videos.
And so so check this. They equated a punch from him as the equivalent of getting hit by a Vespa at 10 miles an hour. Now, don't get me wrong. Like on paper, that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm like, I still don't want to get punched by him to find out, but dude.
And
no,
what
but like,
percentage is this?
Yeah, right?
What percentage of the punch
dude,
was that?
But so you watch the video of him like punch like a punching bag or whatever, or I actually don't see him punching like with like a trainer.
I've seen that.
No, I've
with
seen the full body trainer.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that like he's not going hard like 100%.
Yeah.
Because I'm like I think he'll break that guy's hand.
Yeah.
But when he goes like against a punching bag, it's like a lightning clap or thunderclap.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting like, dude, holy crap.
No, it's
And that's at 58. Imagine him in his peak, just like
So
you can't like
so
that.
even now, or I think a couple years back they talked about it. I don't know what the fuck this means, first of all, because I've thought of it as a different metric. They're like, his punch is equivalent to 1,600 joules. I'm like,
what the fuck?
what the fuck?
No, so the
how does that
crazy
work
thing
here?
is,
But-
it's like the crazy thing is, it's like, oh yeah, it's like a Vespa hitting you at 10 miles per hour. You're like, ow, but like you have to understand, like the
this is a Vespa coming like constantly.
No,
no,
towards your
it's a
face.
Vespa concentrated into a fist.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like in your fucking dome, bro. Like,
It's like all the weight of a Vespa comes
Yeah.
back into his fist.
yeah, and like people don't understand that, like, you know, like again, like I know Jake Paul is like a YouTuber and whatever, and like he's kind of deluded and delusional, but like you have to understand that like Mike Tyson's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, dude.
He bit off a dude's ear.
No, not just anybody. Evander Holyfield. man.
Yeah. This fucking ear, and they fought. This man is the greatest ever to live, man.
Also, like, I want you to just like imagine this, right? You know, I don't want to live in a world where Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson and he goes around and showing off that I beat Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
raped Mike Tyson. I cannot live in that world. It's like I just can't. Like,
Yeah.
Even if this guy is close to 60, I don't think I would ever
Want
believe.
that to
I would not believe it.
Yeah, and God, we keep talking about these YouTube fights, and I'm telling you, man, like none of this feels real anymore.
It doesn't, and like I feel like at the end of it, like it's gonna be like, and for my next fight,
'Cause-
I'm actually gonna revive Muhammad Ali back into his ALS form and box him. Then
God. Okay, wait. The first time we talked about this was like when we were for one of the first episodes.
yeah,
What was that fight? It was also one of the Paul brothers.
Logan versus
that guy
Dylan Dennis.
No.
Yeah.
That was the first we covered it. Like after, but like our very first episode, we talked about just YouTube boxing in general.
Yeah, we did. We talked about a lot of like they had like, you know, YouTuber tournaments where like streamers and YouTubers would fight each
KSI
other.
versus Logan and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
KSI.
yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you see KSI, and you're like, dude,
But KSI can fight.
that's the thing, right? Like, so how is it that any chance he has any chance? And it's, I just have a hard time with YouTube boxing.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just used to the boxing thing being like the closest to real. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of fight throwing and all that kind of stuff for getting paid out and stuff.
It's also okay. It's very fucking like hard. Like I know in boxing there's just general respect, where like, you know, like if Floyd Mayweather and what's the other guy?
Manny Pacquiao.
Not Manny Pacquiao. The guy, proper 12 guy.
Oh, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. I was thinking about him. I knew I had
I
his
was gonna
face like in my mind.
I was gonna say Ewan
and then I
McGregor.
completely
I'm
forgot.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, Floyd Mayweather and like Conor McGregor see each other. There's like a general form of respect, but they're not gonna be friends. They're not gonna be like, oh, let's do a joint venture. And like the fact that like KSI and Logan are like, oh yeah, Prime, like
Yeah.
and making that like and doing videos and like fun promotional shit. Cool, business is business. It's strictly financial. I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. But enough about, you know, YouTubers fighting each other and Mike Tyson, crazy Mike Tyson. Let's get to the Reddit.
All right.
So this one is kind of like, it's not a weird one. It's just like, how would you handle the situation? I think this would hit more for you since you have a child
All right,
and
all
a
right.
daughter. You don't have a child, but
Or a daughter. I don't know if they're
Yeah, mutually
mutually
exclusive.
kind of.
yeah. No. Just want to know your opinion being a DILF.
What's a dilf?
Oh, not a DILF. Sorry.
I'm like, what?
Wait,
What?
Dink. I meant dink.
Isn't dilf like a dad I would like to fuck?
I meant dink.
I am not a dilf.
Don't edit that out.
There's no way I'm editing this.
I meant dink. Guys, please.
I beg you, please take that out.
So the title is, Am I the asshole for calling the police on my neighbors and calling her and her husband pedos at their Halloween party?
Oh boy.
Wait. Say that again.
I think they gave away the plot.
Am I the asshole for calling the police on my neighbors and calling her and her husband pedos at their Halloween party?
Okay. At their own Halloween party.
Yeah, the pedos are throwing the Halloween party.
Okay, tell me the story.
Go figure.
Yeah. You fucking pedos.
Luring children.
What was it? A kids party or was it an adults party?
We'll figure it out, man.
Okay.
My husband, 39 male, and I, 35 female, moved to this country when we first got married due to his work. We had our first child, female, 6 here. He was then moved to Germany, where our other 2, 4 male and 3 female, were born. His company decided to move him again, but to the opposite side of the country to where we lived the last time after we had our 4th female, 5 months.
Jesus.
So needless to say, we know the culture despite not being natives. Our daughter started school in August for the first time, and a lot of her classmates lived in the same area as we do. One of the boys in her class lives in the end of the road of us. When we first moved into the neighborhood back in May, we were welcomed by a few of our close neighbors and this boy's mother. Let's call her Astrid. She took a shine to my baby.
She picked a very difficult name for her. Okay.
Yeah.
Astrid.
She took a shine to my baby, but most people fuss over babies, so I didn't think much of it. That same day, she told me how she had lost 2 baby girls and how lucky I was to have so many girls, and she only had 3 boys.
So I don't think it's a pedo issue. Like now I'm just feeling like she just doesn't have a daughter, so she feels like...
I think this is a just wait kind of situation.
The day after, she came with her husband. Let's call him Morden. And he too wanted to pick up the baby and paid her lots of compliments until he met her oldest daughter and made a remark which I didn't think much of at the time. He said my daughter and his son could easily pass for twins as they are in the same class and they look alike. They don't. My daughter is super blonde with gray eyes, and their son has dark blondish hair with hazel eyes. So I corrected him.
Wait, that's like could be kind of close.
No, he has hazel eyes.
To an untrained, like gray and hazel, or could be.
He has like dark blondish hair. She has like dirty blonde hair. I don't think that's very.
But, people dye their hair.
Well, I'm saying close enough to make a comment, I think.
I feel like
But
it
you're
was
right.
probably not hair or eye based, but facial structure could also play a big
gotta be
role
more
in
than
that.
But the
right?
fact that he said they don't, I think it's more than just hair color and eye color. But let me continue.
Yeah.
He feigned offense and said what he meant was that she could pass it for his daughter and the baby too. Again, I corrected them that with his light brown hair and hazel eyes, neither of my girls could.
Oh, light brown. Okay, I heard light, like just a darker blonde.
Yeah.
Okay.
He once again insisted and said, I mean, our features, not the coloring. Then he laughed it off and said he was just joking. They then invited us to go out for drinks, but we declined as neither of us are drinkers and we don't like to be too friendly with neighbors.
What?
Oh, that's mean.
Yeah.
I mean, them, I get it. but neighbors in general, they're like,
Yeah.
no, fuck them.
I feel like she's the weird one so far.
During
So
the
far.
summer, when we bumped into each other at the local store a few times, Morton Astrid would just call her Julister and sing a song from a famous movie here. After a few times, I told him to knock it off as it was no longer funny. Since May and up until a week ago, they have tried to invite us over to many get-togethers, which I found strange as they hardly ever invite neighbors that they have known for longer than us. Morton Astrid would quite often talk to my daughter on her way back from school as she passes their house every day on the way home. And she said that it bothers her as they both have tried to pick her up and Astrid has tried a few too many times to touch her hair.
Whoa.
When my
Whoa.
husband confronted them about it, they said it's just a culture here. It's not. They picked
I want to know where this is.
But yeah, what is this called?
Germany.
No, see, they're back from Germany.
I thought
to
they were
the
back.
place. No,
They
no,
kept them moving around in Germany, like different sides. That's why they're not native. They're not
okay,
like
okay.
they're familiar with the culture, but they're not
Oh,
native.
I don't know why-
I thought they were like in a
Yeah.
different country. Then they moved to Germany, and then they moved back
Yeah,
to
no,
a
no,
different
no.
country.
The picking up and touching her hair stopped after that. After the husband went to talk to them.
Yeah, no shit.
At the beginning of October, they wanted us to help them host a Halloween party at the end of October, and wanted us to meet them at their house so we could coordinate the children's costumes, especially the twins. We declined again as we don't celebrate Halloween. They tried to
Oh, yeah, I
convince
feel
us.
like they're the weirdos too.
It's everyone sucks here.
Everyone sucks here.
They tried to convince us otherwise, and they were very pushy. They even had their son knock on our door a few times to play with his twin after school. Knocking on doors to play with other children is normal, and most children roam out, and it's roam out about as it is a safe neighborhood in the country, so the part was never suspicious to me. However, the upteenth time of calling my daughter one of his twins, I put my foot down and said he needs to stop joking about it as it's not funny anymore.
Oh my god.
My husband goes offshore at times due to his work, and it has been me and the children since mid-October. My daughter's teacher also lives in the neighborhood, and she is a childhood friend of Astrid. She was present in the park by our house when Astrid came up to me and handed me 3 costumes. One for each of the girls. Since we don't celebrate Halloween, her and her husband decided to host a Halloween party instead and wanted my girls to wear these. I was shocked but told her no, it would not happen. The teacher tried to convince me that this would be a nice way of meeting other families and it would be fun for our children.
So even the teacher is saying, "Hey, join this public holiday." That
No. This teacher is like Astrid's childhood friend, so she's just buying into the crazy and supporting.
Okay. This is weird, but how would Astrid as a kid?
Astrid's
Astrid's the mom.
Mom.
Oh.
Like the neighbor mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Astrid said she spent a lot of money on adjusting costumes and had found the right hairstyle for my daughter to go as Gretel and her son Hans. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Dude.
I told her no one made her spend the money, as I had made it very clear that none of my children would be going. Right in front of me, she took the hairband off my daughter's hair and tried to put one on that she had made for the costume. I told her to stop and started walking off. She tried to apologize and said, "Relax. We are neighbors and friends." Her teacher followed me and said not to be uptight and that Astrid meant no harm. She just likes girls. Weird fucking phrase from a teacher.
Yeah.
On Monday, my daughter came home with a different hairstyle and accessories to what I sent her off with. I asked her how she got them, and she said that her teacher had done her hair during lunch. I asked her if she had played rough, so her hair needed to be fixed. She said no. Yesterday morning, I spoke with the teacher, and she confirmed that it was indeed her who fixed her hair, and that it was Astrid who brought the stuff. Oh, my Lord. I asked her why she would go against my wishes, to which she said it was only hair stuff, and Astrid didn't want to throw it away as she had spent money on it. She thought with 3 daughters, I would appreciate help with some free accessories. She also said that I had not made it explicitly clear not to fix my daughter's hair. I left after telling her never to do it again and returned the stuff. In the evening, the neighborhood children went trick-or-treating. Those participated were informed it would last till 6. Last from 6 to 8. I let my daughter go off and play with one of the other girls who wasn't trick-or-treating. At about 7, I couldn't hear them, so I went outside to check as they were not there. I asked the other children if they had seen her, and they said Morton and Astrid had collected her in the car, and her friend had gone home. I asked the next door neighbor to watch my other 2 while I ran with the baby to their place. When I arrived, they were having a party in the garden, and my daughter was there. She had her hair done and had a candy bag. She was also wearing the costume. So in my anger, I called the police before speaking to anyone, and once I got off the call, I called both of them pedos and everything under the sun in multiple languages. When the police arrived and I spoke to them, we left. Today at school, her teacher was very short with me and said there was no need for that as Morton volunteers for the Children's Football Club. Having a police report filed on him was not the wisest of choices. She explained that if I wasn't happy, I should have asked for a mediation appointment at the school instead of embarrassing Astrid and Morton in front of everyone. She also mentioned that it was her who helped her daughter change into the costume and it's not unusual for teachers to help students change here. That is partially true for this country, is what she wrote. She said Astrid had been grieving and her behavior is normal for someone who has lost so many children, one after the other, and not to make it so hard on her as people have gossiped quite enough about it. She said they don't know they had crossed the line and it wouldn't happen again, so just drop the complaint at the police. On Friday, I have to make a full statement at the police station. She wants me to cancel it as Astrid and Morton are not bad people, and she thinks I should be glad someone else thinks this highly of my daughter. She wasn't harmed, and she sees no reason for me being angry as the children all play together in each other's gardens. She said not to blow things out of proportion, as at no point was my daughter alone with Morton.
It's not just Morton, right? She could be alone with Astrid too.
Yeah,
Astrid could be the fucking weird one.
Yeah,
she is a weird one.
I say not the asshole. That's how I would react. Because you have to think about it, like, they don't think about it from the other side, right? Like, your daughter went to someone else's house, kind of, at first, because the daughter also said at some point that it made her uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
And then not really knowing, I mean, I don't know how long they've known these people, but I've seen too much shit, too many movies, too many shows where something like this happens where you don't really know what goes on, right? And the kid could, like, and they can easily convince the kid to be like, hey, like, you shouldn't, don't say anything, or it's our secret, or I will hurt you, right? And,
No, I think especially when the mother said my kids will not be participating, that's it.
That's end. Yeah,
that's end of conversation.
Yeah.
So does that make them pedophile? Not really. I don't think.
But like, I feel like in that situation, if someone literally kidnaps your kid,
so I would file for kidnap, not for
I don't think she filed for pedophile. I don't think that's the thing.
It's like, I'd like to arrest her under pedophilia. They go there. It's like, no, this is a kidnapping. We're not.
No, it's like child abduction. The police are like, probably like, what the fuck? And you're like, you fucking pedos, leave my daughter alone.
So pedophilia, I think it doesn't have to be. I don't want to get too far into it, but like, it doesn't have to be sexual, right? It's just it could just be like a very inappropriate interest.
Yeah,
is what I'm thinking. And so I think that, like, I don't think she's out of line by saying that. I would have fucking called the cops. So I would have
called the cops,
right?
Yeah.
I would have been like, kidnapping or pedophilia, just get them out of here, like whatever it is. Like,
as a DILF.
Fuck you, dude. So there is an update.
Let's go.
It's a pretty long one, so I could summarize it for you guys if you want, or if you want me to read it, I could read it up verbatim.
Let's read it. Fuck it. I don't want to, I want to know if it gets.
Okay. Thank you for all the reassurance. It was very helpful. A lot of people asked about update and many DMs to see how it was going. We filed a report at the police station, and basically we were dismissed. We had 2 female officers on the first day, but a male officer came in and offered us some water, tried to do a small talk. That police officer is the ex of my daughter's teacher, and told us as much. We had to do the report over 2 days, as the first day my daughter was too tired to relay all the details. On the second appointment, we had 2 female officers and her ex, who also joined us. It seemed like he had already talked to her teacher about it, but he denied it when I confronted him about it, citing confidentiality. I was told they would have a word with Astrid and Morton, but I doubt they took it seriously, as all 3 of them kind of defended their actions, wanting to know why I wouldn't let my daughter go to a party. When we got home, we had a knock on the door in the evening, and it was Astrid and Morton.
Are you serious? Why would you show up?
I didn't open the door. On Saturday the 11th, while my daughter was playing in the garden, and my next-door neighbor's children said she said Astrid was taking pictures of her from across the street.
No, come on.
No.
On the Sunday, they came by again and kept knocking on the door. They said that they knew I was inside and they wanted to talk. I didn't open the door. I phoned the police, and they said it would, if they became violent, call back. In the meantime, just open the door and tell them that you don't want to talk to them. I didn't, and they left. They left a message in my post box. It was a long message about how they felt connected to my daughter and how I should take better care of her. How they know how it feels to
Is that a
lose a
threat?
child and that they only want what's best for her.
Is that a threat?
That's kind of fucking weird.
That's fucking weird. That's crossing the line. Like, I know, like, if I had a kid as a DILF,
I meant dick.
no, so as a parent, if I know about what's best for my kid, and I mean, you know, child protective services can get, like, you know, someone can call that and they can assess this, but I don't think I want to hear that from any other fucking parent about, like, how I'm treating my kid or not.
Yeah, like
Fuck off.
especially if, like, I mean, even especially if you're like a good parent, not abusive, not doing anything wrong. It's just a difference in opinion.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Fuck
pretty
off.
abusive not to let the kid go to Halloween.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
true.
No, I wonder what Halloween's like in Germany.
Yeah.
You know, because they're a little more.
They're about it.
They get pretzels.
That's racist. Okay. On the 15th, I kept my daughter from school as she said that Astrid's son kept teasing her. Instead, I spoke to the principal about the matter and explained that I needed this absence validated. I took my daughter to the store, and I think maybe I was followed because not 5 minutes had gone by when Astrid walked in and bumped into me by the dairy section. She apologized and blocked me in with her cart because I tried to get away.
Are you serious? That is so, like,
She started
crazy.
talking to my daughter and tried to stroke my baby's hair. So I screamed. That made her walk away from me. The day after, I found another note in my post box.
Sorry, I know this is weird, but did she scream in German or did she scream just like stop? Like,
I see. The thing is, like, if someone were to scream at me in German in the States, I would be more terrified. But I feel like that's just screaming for them in Germany, as it is the native language. Would it have the same effect if they screamed in English?
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
I
Okay.
mean, is
But bitch is not.
Yeah, right.
The day after, I found another note in my post box telling me not to be hysterical and that I have saved.
The fuck is what?
I phoned my husband to come home or find a reason to get home ASAP. On the 18th, both Astrid and Morton confronted me in the park and wanted to know why I was keeping Julistern away from them. That's the name that they gave their daughter.
Because that's not their kid.
From them
That's a
due
crazy
to
ass names, man. They're giving everybody.
from them due to a misunderstanding. I told them politely, Morton is a big guy and I'm not as strong as him, that my husband was home. I lied. They walked away.
Yo, what? This is.
I phoned the police and gave them the latest evidence on the harassment, but they said they would have a word with the two. On Monday, I attended a meeting with the principal and the teacher where she apologized, but she made it out that it was a misunderstanding. The principal was very nice and told the teacher to back off sternly and not to mix her professional life with her private life. Astrid and Morton came by the house that evening, and while I was attending to do the laundry in the basement, they were trying to talk to my girl in the garden.
Are you serious?
And
Yeah.
she let slip that her dad wasn't home yet. They gave her some cookies, but she threw them outside the bin while they watched on. Smart girl.
Yeah, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
On Tuesday, they confronted us on the way to school and asked why I lied about my husband. Luckily, I wasn't alone, and one of the neighbors was on the street and told him to back the fuck off. On the way back
God.
from picking her up at the end of the day, we took a taxi home. In the evening, they were banging on the door again, and they had their sons with them. I called the police, but they only arrived after they had left. I discussed it with my husband on the phone. He managed to get 3 days off, but he won't be home before this weekend as his workplace doesn't see it as an emergency.
What do you mean it doesn't see it as an
Until
emergency?
yesterday's incident. Yesterday, they came by again while we were in the park. I was preoccupied with my son, and I noticed a tap on my shoulders. It was Morton holding my daughter, and he said I should take better care of her as she might walk off into the road while my attention is elsewhere. He made it out as if she had run into the street, but my daughter denied it. I grabbed her and the other children and left and packed some stuff. I asked my next door to collect my post and hold on to it while I booked a hotel.
Yeah.
Word's gone around that they had been a bit weird about my daughter. I have been staying in a hotel since my husband is arranging tickets for us to visit my parents before Christmas holiday. At this point, I don't want to stay here anymore, and my husband will have to ask for a transfer. I spoke to the principal, and she said she would check in on my daughter in the morning and keep her at pickup time, so only I could pick her up from her office.
Good call.
Yeah.
I haven't told the principal about her moving plan, just in case she mentions it to another teacher and it gets back to Astrid's friend. I hate lying, but I feel like if I don't, it may put us at risk. One of my neighbors on the other side of the street said both Astrid and Morton have mentioned that they suspect that I neglect my child, and that they tried to insinuate that maybe I was too overwhelmed with 4 little ones while my husband was offshore. She told them I wasn't ready and have now moved on to a neighbor trying to badmouth me. It seems like they are recruiting witnesses / helpers. So my neighbor said that it's best to keep documentation in case they call CPS on us, and to get a copy of confirmation between the police so there's no bad blood between us. My husband can deal with the paperwork and the aftermath and join us when he arranges a transfer, but I'm not staying here anymore. Oh my God. There's a final update.
Oh my God, there's more?
It's short, thankfully. A lot has happened in the last few days. I don't want to give too many details as the story has been leaked to other social media without my approval. I also don't want Astrid and Morton to find out about this now that it's on several platforms. I'm at my parents' house. We are all safe. My husband will be joining us in the new year once he sorts out his new assignments. I won't say what country we are in now, as my husband said that Astrid came by the house under the guise of giving us Christmas cookies 2 days ago, wondering why my daughter hadn't been to school. He told her politely to leave. Before leaving, I told the principal and not her teacher. Her principal understood and said it was her responsibility to relay that information to the class and the teacher. Today, she was at her place again asking him where she was, as the principal told the class that my daughter was sad to leave. My daughter was sad to leave them, but we had moved. She made her school friends drawings that were given to them. Sad as it is, I don't want her to get in contact with her friends in case they say something to the wrong person.
Yeah.
My daughter will make new friends and hopefully won't miss her Norwegian friends too much. Oh, so they were in...
they were not in Germany. Yeah.
But similar cultures.
Yeah. Maybe.
Touching kids and being obsessed with kids.
I
think that's a universal thing.
Yeah.
I did tell 2 of my closest neighbors on the day I was leaving, but they're always on friendly terms with me, and they were on my side all along. To be honest, I don't know where my husband might get sent next. For now, we are all safe. Thank you for the support. I know I didn't reply to all the messages with a lot going on. Please don't hold that against me. That is the end.
My God.
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, because I don't know what Norwegian culture is like, but that can't be it, right?
That's
Yeah.
not it.
You know,
Like everyone in the comments, even people from Norway were like, that's not normal. But yeah. Jeez.
I mean, was there ever
Jesus.
a question if they are the assholes or if like who's at fault?
That's why I never.
Yeah.
That's why I never phrased this as that. Am I the asshole? That's why I
Because-
was like, I just want you to like. How I want to know what you guys would do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think.
I'll honestly. Do you guys remember Dr. Ramsey?
Yeah, that vibes, right?
Do you guys remember what one day the dad was just sitting with a cold drink and his gun out?
Oh yeah, no. The American out of
right?
me will literally come out,
It's
bro.
like, did he do it? Did he do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be no question about if I did it. They would see the blood splatter.
So
It's like, you want to say a little bit Halloween? I'll make you decoration, bro.
Boom.
Exactly. Boom.
Right. Yeah. I don't think she did anything unreasonable, and it sucks because she's one mom watching 4 kids, and there's a full couple with 3 kids next door.
In a town, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's
in a
like
whole new town. Like
no,
Yeah.
not
They're
just
even
that.
from
It's just like a new couple with 3 kids. The teacher that's like responsible for their daughter, and the fucking police officer who is the teacher's ex that knows this family. Right?
Yeah, that's insane.
So it's hard to like get anywhere. So you're like, you know what? It sucks to uproot your life again.
But if he's the teacher's ex, doesn't that make it?
That's what I thought, right? Like you think that'd be negative.
Yeah.
Like it would work in the OP's care. You would think it would work in the OP's favor, right?
I don't know.
Maybe he still loves her. I don't know.
guess.
I don't know. Maybe we should have a spin-off on the cop and his teacher.
Dig deeper, it might be out
The
there.
cop and the teacher who enables 2 pedophiles.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess
That's all we have for you guys today. So
uncomfortable story.
have a good night.
All right, peace out.
Time to hit the hit.